If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with all my latest videos.
Hi guys, welcome back to Life with Gaz, and in this week's video I'm fishing back down at Plantations. I stayed in Bristol a bit longer than I thought I would, so I thought I had a spare afternoon. I'll come and give it another go down here after those 3 carp last week. So fingers crossed we're going to have the same luck this week and we're going to see a few more fish. But before we do, I'm just going to show you what rig I was using and show you what rig I'm going to use this week. So guys, here we got the rig. We've got a small weight just here. Well, I say small, it's about 1 ounce and a bit, that one. Followed by a boilie on a hair rig. So you can see the hook just at the top, just there. Now this is just very, very simple. I like to keep fishing really simple. It's just a running leisure. So when the fish takes it, the bait runner kicks in. It doesn't feel the weight until you pick up and strike into the fish. And that's what done the trick last week. Let's hope it does a trick this week as well.
So let's get started on this session. I threw one rod out just over towards the bank, and that one screamed off just as I was setting up the other rod. So I quickly put that one down, strike into it, and land my first fish of the day within about 30 seconds of casting out. Now when it come to playing this fish, he was a bit of a scrapper, which was great because it gave our char a chance to set that net up for me. And this fish, he sort of flew across from side to side, so in other words it's probably a pretty good idea that I didn't really have that other rod straight out. But once he was on the surface, he was dead easy to guide into the net, unhook, and have me first look at my first carp of this session. And it's a good start to the afternoon because this was a mirror carp that come in at £9. Now this fish was nice and calm right up until I put him down after getting that photo. Then he got a bit lively. So rather than lifting him out of the net and placing him into the water, I decided to release him straight from the net. And he waved his tail goodbye to me and off he went. Now in the time it had taken me to catch that fish and release it, our char had a chance to get set up. Now I was just going over to get a few boilers to start breaking up and baiting, and to that area to start baiting that swim up, since me and our char were going to share a swim today because it was quite successful last time we fished here, and our char even managed to pick up his first fish of the day as well. Now something that we do quite a lot of when we're fishing, especially if you've seen some of my sea fishing videos when I'm using clip-on clip-off rigs, is as soon as I unhook a fish I'll throw it straight back out into the same area. That's exactly what our Charlie did here. In fact, he didn't even cast it out, he just threw the weight over the side, and that picked up a fish straight away before he'd even managed to get his second rod in the water for the first time today. Now I might as well tell you whilst we're sorting this fish out what we were fishing with as bait today, and all we were using were the coconut 18mm boilies, and trust me, they did the trick. Now after 15 minutes and 3 fish in, our char finally gets ready to put his second rod out, only to see his other rod go again and being to his third fish of the day, and that is 4 fish within 20 minutes of fishing here. Now right at the start of the session and right from the get-go, you could see that the fish were holding just to the side of us. Now there's a small tree hanging over there and a few tree roots in the water, we think, and for some reason the fish seem to like that. Now throughout this session, my rod, which was closest to Charlie's, was only cast out 6 foot away from where his was, and for whatever reason That 6 foot seemed to make all the difference, and our Charlie absolutely hammered these fish for the 3 hours which we were here this afternoon. After that mad rush at the start, it went quiet. Now when I say it went quiet, we waited about another 3/4 of an hour to get our next bite, and of course that went to Charlie as well. But hey, with that wait, at least it gave our Char a chance to cast his second rod out. In the time playing this fish decided to have a little bit of a run out towards the centre of the lake, or maybe even down to those tree roots down at our right hand side. Now this also meant that he managed to run around the line on our Charlie's other rod, which made landing him a little bit more tricky, but we got there in the end. But as luck has it, whilst I was helping our Charlie land that fish, my rod decided to scream off, but by the time I got to it, that fish had spat the bait and swam off, not to be seen again. This was a better fish from the ones that he previously caught, and it's comparable in size to that 9-pounder that I had. So of course I got our Charlie a photo with him. Continuing to feed the swim with about 3 or 4 boilies every half an hour, some of them chopped up, some of them just thrown in whole, was really paying off, because that's another fish our Charlie's got into just there. And this guy, he was a bit bigger again. He came in at 12 pounds, so he was 3 pound heavier than that 9-pounder that I'd had, 3 pound heavier than the 9-pounder our Char had as well. Now, just like we've been doing all day, every fish that we caught, we just threw the lead back over the side and just down about a rod length or 2 out. So by the time we've taken a photo and then released this fish, another fish had picked that bait up on the bottom just underneath the bank from us, and our Charlie unfortunately couldn't play the fish with the rod because the line just wrapped around the rod tip, so he ended up having to hand line that one in, and then we got that one in the net as well. Now that fish, Charlie had just unhooked it, stuck it back into the pond, and just as he did that, I sat down just to watch his other rod scream off as well and watch him hit another fish. Now for our Char in this session, sitting down was an absolute luxury. He was on his feet more than he was sat down, because every time he put his rods down, one of them went, and that's exactly what's going to happen again here. Now not only was he pulling these fish in thick and fast, but this was another above average sized carp for this small match pond. And now it's time to say goodbye to Charlie's second 12-pounder of the day, as that fish waves his tail to us and swims back off across that lake. Now there's me, just pulling one of mine in to put it a little bit closer over to our char's side sneakily without him seeing, only to see one of his rods go again. When we got this one up on the surface and landed it, it turned out it was the smallest one of the day. Now, we hadn't had any carp under £5 until this one come in, and this one we reckon was about 2. Now throughout the day, me and our char have been using identical rigs and identical baits, and we were only 4 to 6 foot apart, and that 4 to 6 foot is making all the difference. You can see the hit rate that our Charlie's got to the one fish that I've had so far. And here we go, another one going in the net for him here. So with that last fish for our char, that brings a total for him to 10 fish in 3 hours, which isn't too bad, and his fish ranged from 2 to 12 pound in weight, which is a fairly good session for the 3 hours we've been down here at the Match Lake at Plantations. So with the afternoon drawing to a close, I sort of resigned myself to the fact that I was only going to get one fish in the afternoon session. But then all of a sudden the reel started screaming away and I was into my next fish. Now after about a minute of being on the line, this fish broke the surface, and that's when I seen that this fish was not the biggest fish that I'd had that day, but definitely the most spectacular, as when this fish netted, you can see that it's actually a full scaled mirror, which I've never actually seen one in person before. And there he is, up close in the net and looking absolutely spectacular, isn't he?
Well guys, second trip over, and Charlie has nicked most of the fish by the look of that, dropping just in here next to me on the bank. But it's been a good day. We love this little venue and definitely going to try and come back here in the summer. If it fishes like this in February, let's see what the summer can hold for it. But for now, if you've liked this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down here. Check out my latest fishing video there, and of course my playlist up top.